Hey everybody, it's Dalton. If you watch my last video, right now I'm supposed to be having a new trolling motor put on. I damaged that one and put a claim in the insurance, paid the deductible. They're going to replace it with a new one. And he called me. I guess the trolling motor was damaged during shipping, so he had to order another one. So it's supposed to come in around 11 or 12 today, and he's going to put it on. So consequently, I came out here to do a little bit of fishing. I got maybe an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half by the time I got my boat in. Really changed out here. A few days ago, water temperature was up to right around 56 degrees. And we had some cold weather come through, and now it's down to 51 degrees. And you know, I don't like that because I was on a really good pattern out here and I was catching a lot of them. And I was fishing over closer to where I launched, and I didn't get a bite over there, so I'm gonna come over here and see if I can get a bite. Kind of hoping to get one or two, and we'll see what happens. A few weeks ago, somebody left a comment on one of my videos, and I wanted to talk about that. I could tell the guy was struggling with bass fishing, kind of felt like giving it up. But bass fishing can get frustrating. It can be really tough. When you're dealing with, like this time of year, you got these fluctuating weather changes. You come out here one day and you have a great day, come out 3 or 4 days later, you have a cold front come through and it just screws everything up. And yeah, that's frustrating. The question I have in thinking about that comment, right? How does a person become a better bass fisherman? Now, I've been fishing for over 40 years, and I asked myself that question: how would I become a better bass fisherman? Now, in thinking about that question, I think a lot of people, hang on, I got one. That's my first bite, man. I'm happy to get one. He's a little guy, but he's a bass, and I'll take him. And of course, I'm using a high percentage bait. I don't have much time, so I'm going with old Uncle Ned here, the old Ned rig. Good morning. Thank you. So, back to what I was talking about, what makes a person a better bass fisherman? So, some of the things that I would assume some people would say is you're a better bass fisherman. You're going to be a better bass fisherman if you have a boat. If you have a boat, you have a fish finder, you're going to be a better bass fisherman automatically. Or you could go get a $50,000 or $100,000 bass boat, and that's automatically going to make you a better bass fisherman. Well, I don't agree with that. For years and years and years, I got to tell you something. I caught bass off the shore. I didn't have a boat. I had a boat when I was a teenager. I sold it to go to college, and I didn't get another boat till like 3 years ago. So I caught tons of fish without a boat and without a fish finder. So that's not going to make you a better bass fisherman. Some people may think, well, it's the quality of the rods and reels that you have. Now, quality helps. But I still don't believe, I got another one here, I still don't believe that that's going to make you a better bass fisherman. Let me get this fish in and we can talk about it. A little better than the last one. Come here, buddy. Come here. There we go. A little better than the last one. So like I'm saying, I don't think that, having a certain rod and reel, say at a really high price, is necessarily going to make a person a better bass fisherman. It helps. So if you think about all these things, think about baits. It almost seems like the more baits you have, maybe that's what makes a better bass fisherman. Just have a lot of baits, right? I got a lot of baits in the boat. I have a lot of baits at home. That's not what makes me a better bass fisherman. All of these things that I'm talking about, the boat, the fish finder, the rod, reel, the baits, the trolling motor, all that stuff, it's a tool. Just think of it as a tool. So back to the question, how do I become a better bass fisherman? I will answer that question with the only thing that I know. Go fishing. Go fishing as much as you possibly can. I'm going to use this lake as an example. This is Lake Nacimiento in California. It's a phenomenal fishery, but I'm going to tell you something about this lake. I just got another bass. The thing about this lake, it's not a world record bass lake. It used to be just a largemouth and a smallmouth lake, and then the white bass got in here and ruined those populations. Now it's predominantly a spotted bass lake with some largemouth. And I was catching them off the shore. Let me get this guy in real quick. So, you're going to catch a lot of bass about this size out here. The biggest spotted bass I've caught out here is 5 pounds. It's now predominantly a spotted bass lake. And the thing is that you just don't catch giant bass out here. Why do I love this lake so much? Well, I'm going to tell you why. I've learned more about fishing from this lake than I have anywhere. And let me explain that. Let me go ahead and change this bait out. I'll be right back. Okay, the reason I like this lake so much, look, I was raised up on farm ponds, small bodies of water, small lakes, fishing for largemouth bass, shallow water fishing, a lot of shallow cover, you know, weeds, grass, trees, all kinds of great stuff. And I figured getting a boat, I might find some of that out here, and I got a boat and got out here about 3 years ago in a boat and didn't find any of it. This lake is a lot of flats, drop-offs, really steep banks, underwater humps and structure, tons of rocks and bluff walls, things like that, but not the typical stuff that I have been fishing for so long. So when I got out here in my boat, I was overwhelmed. I'm not going to lie to you. This lake absolutely scared me. I was just intimidated by it. My wife and I get out here on the water and I'm like, hon, where do we even start? There's so much here. So I had a choice. I had some frustrating days out here and I had a choice. I could have went down the road to a largemouth lake or come out here and fish a lot. And what I chose to do was just fish. Fish as much as I could. I fish year round. I still hear guys talking about the only time they fish is during the spring when the fish are shallow in the spawn. Well, fish can be caught year round. I'm sitting here in 51, degrees of water on a cold morning and I just caught 3. You can catch them year round. My suggestion is if you're struggling with bass fishing or you're just getting into it, fish as much as you possibly can because it can only make you better. Anytime you do something a lot, you're going to get better. Fish year round. Fish on those cold days. Fish when it's raining. Fish when that wind's blowing. Wind's your friend. It creates current, gets things going. Look, I don't have any wind out here. I'd like a little bit of it. It'd even activate it more. Fish in those hot summer days. If you got an hour after work and got a little place to throw a few baits, go throw them. I guarantee you that the best way to become a better bass fisherman is not a boat, fish finder, types of rods and reels or companies. It's not any of that. It's getting out and fishing as much as you can. And I guarantee you, if you do that and you're stubborn and persistent about it, you will become a better bass fisherman. No question about it. I'm gonna see if I can catch some more. I don't have much time. There we go. Another little spot on Uncle Ned. Turn this around and back it up a little. I don't want to get too close. This is an area that's commonly called Flag Rock. You see the American flag up there. Everybody and their mother fishes this thing. But I'll come by and every once in a while I'll get a big one. A little nicer one here. Oh yeah, a little better. Not huge, but he's bigger than the other ones I caught. Nice pretty spotted bass. And maybe pound and a quarter, pound and a half, but I'll take him. I might find a little school of them. Second one in that same spot. Feels like around the same size. Oh, no, this is a slab. This is a slab right here. Big old crappie. Sorry about that. My remote goes off. If it's been setting too long to save the battery, I set on it and it started going and then it turned off, so I had to get up there. And a big old slab right here, big old crappie, just right off this point you can see. And so the bass and crappie are running together right over here. You know, I love catching crappie. My wife got a really bigger than that one. She got a really big one last weekend. They're fun. Come here. Chunky guy. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap it up. Go get that trolling motor put on, but I hope you enjoyed the video. The more you fish, the more you figure things out. And the thing I figured out today, I caught 6 spotted bass and 1 crappie, and I haven't even fished a total of an hour. Caught some over there on a flat, but it was a flat that had some little rocks, little chunk rocks. I came over here and I'm catching them off this point right here. But again, there's rock there. So the biggest thing that you know I'm seeing today is rock. And so when I bring my wife out here day after tomorrow, I've got a starting point to bring us around areas where there's some rock with some small rocks, or a flat with some small rocks. And that just seems to be a prime place to fish. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want to be a better bass fisherman all the time, just like you. Just fish, fish, fish. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you soon.